Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you. Some of you may know my work, but thank you for introducing me. So, I'm a clinical psychologist from Columbia University here in New York, but I was raised in India. I was born in India. I am Indian. And so, I'm very honored to talk to all of you young people and inspire you to continue doing this work. So I'm really happy that you are here with me. So the reason why I wanted to come here is because mental health issues are disguised. You know, when you have a physical disease, there is a diagnosis, there is a physical, observable symptomatology. You can see that somebody may be physically ill. But when it's a mental health issue, it's very disguised and sneaky. We don't see it. And because we don't see it, we don't recognize that it is a real problem. And we stigmatize it. In India, mental health issues are really considered as a failure, something to be ashamed of, something to run away from, something to hide. And this mindset has to completely disappear. Just like we take care of a physical issue, we need to help people take care of their mental issues. Just because somebody has a mental health crisis like anxiety or depression or even a personality disorder, we need to understand its unique symptoms and help people. So what you are doing and what you are studying is a beautiful thing. I think every human in the world should study psychology because we can understand each other better. But I want you to understand that before you can help anyone else, you must help yourself. There is nobody to help if you are suffering yourself. Every human that I have met has some sort of mental health issue. It may not be a full-blown diagnosis, but everybody has some mental health problem. Why? Because we were raised in families where we were not allowed to be our true selves. There is not one person here who was raised by parents to be their true self. Now you say, that's not true. My parents allow me to be who I want to be. My parents allow me to be whatever I want, but it's not true. Every human that I have met, and I have been doing this work for 24 years almost, has had parents who were unconscious. And because they were unconscious, and because they lived in fear, and because they lived so addicted and so attached to their parents, to tradition, to religion, to what the people in the neighborhood will say, they did not raise you to be your true self. They raised you to be full of fear, to feel as if you needed to be a certain way in order to get love and validation and worth. So every one of us was raised to be false, fake, inauthentic. Now, there is a continuum of mental health crisis. There are low symptoms and high symptoms. So you're going to meet people across the board. But what you need to understand is that each person you meet is suffering because they're suffering the wounds from their parents, from their childhood. And when you understand that, you begin to ask yourself, wow, Do I have wounds from my childhood? And your answer is 1,000,000% yes. I have wounds from my childhood. My entire adulthood has been about healing my wounds from my parents. Now, my parents are lovely people, they're loving people, but they did not raise me to follow my authentic self. I had to give that gift to myself. I had to go through life and check all the boxes and follow what everyone said I needed to do. And in India, girls are taught to be this way and boys are taught to be that way. And there's a whole lot of lies in between. Everyone is lying to everyone else. You know that. Don't tell this one that. Don't tell that one that. Don't let anyone know you have a boyfriend. Make sure you tell everybody that you can cook really well and be quiet. And you know that you're raised to be a little puppet to the culture. And your parents tell you that this is how to be good and this is how to be successful. So all of us in India especially were raised in a very narrow way. Then your parents tell you to go get married and now go figure it out. And then you have to go raise children. And you're like, you don't even know who you are, but you're raising children. You don't even know how to be with yourself, but you're getting married to some other fool. You don't know even how to take care of yourself, but you're taking care of your mother-in-law. And it's one big mess. Now, you may not like what I'm saying, and you may say, no, but you'll be lying. Because there's not one single Indian family I've met who has healed themselves. Because in India, you're not even allowed to have a mental health problem. You're not allowed to talk about this at all. So everyone is pretending that they're okay, but no one is okay. So the first thing we need to do in India is to take out the stigma of mental health problems. In India, everyone pretends that they're amazing. Everyone is amazing. Everyone is happy. Everyone is really rich. And everyone is getting along. No, not true. Open the doors of any Indian family, and it's one big, ridiculous soap opera. Nobody likes anybody. Everybody's jealous of everybody else. The mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, of course. So in India, the first thing we have to do is start telling the truth. But no one wants to tell the truth because what will people say? So everyone in India lives for other people. What will people say? Don't tell them. So I was married for 25 years. I checked every box. I was such a good girl. But after 25 years, I awoke and I realized that I'm done being married. Been there, done that. I'm making it very simple and I'm laughing. But yes, it took a lot of pain. But was it easy for me to do? It could have been easy, but no. What will people say? But by the time I got a divorce, I realized that I don't care what people say because I care that I want to live my own life, one life authentically, truly, not for other people, not for the cousins, neighbors, dog sitter, not for my uncle's wife's nephew. No, I don't want to live for the people who I'm never going to see in my life. But in India, everybody has something to say about everybody else's life. People in India don't live their own lives. They're living it for some, the shoemaker down the street, his sister, I'm living it for her because she may see me one day. So in India, we have to first start speaking the truth. But then you're going to ask me, who do I speak the truth to? Everybody's lying. True. Very true. You may not be speaking to anybody. You may only be speaking to yourself. I went through a phase in my life where I was like, oh, I don't get along with anybody because everybody's bullshitting. Everybody's pretending and faking and living in the mainstream matrix. And so I got out of the matrix and I said, I'm not going to be part of this fear-based culture. So for some time, I was all on my own because nobody was outside the matrix. So then I created my own community and I began talking to myself online. And then slowly I built a following and then began writing books. So I'm not advocating that you should just leave everybody. but start seeing the truth and speaking the truth. Because in India, because I know my country so well, you are married to your relatives. First, you're married to your parents, then you're married to God, then you're married to your relatives, then you're married to your relatives' relatives, then you're married to your relatives' relatives, then you're married to your children, then you're married to your children's in laws, then you're married to the in laws' families, and it just goes on and on. And then it's very wonderful in small doses. But when the rest of the community swallows who you are, now you have a mental health problem, which no one wants to talk about. So you need to be brave and start talking the truth. And people won't like you, but that's okay, because you're not talking the truth to be liked. You're talking the truth because the truth must be spoken. Mahatma Gandhi did not care if the British liked him or not. He spoke the truth. Martin Luther King in America didn't really care. He was assassinated. You're not going to be assassinated, but you're going to be shunned. And that's okay. As you evolve and as you grow up and as you begin to speak the truth, those who are living a lie are not going to like you. But that's okay. You chose psychology not to be false. You chose psychology to speak the truth. You chose psychology because you understand that everything that goes wrong in our mind. The place of the greatest power is your mind. And your mind is conditioned by your childhood. And the more your mind is conditioned by your childhood, the less your mind is connected to your soul. So as a psychologist, you need to understand how this mind in all your clients is not your client's mind. It's their parents' mind. It's the culture's mind. It's the relatives' mind. It's the neighborhood's mind. It's what culture says. So as a psychologist, if you want to help your clients grow, you need to understand that they have pain from their unconscious childhoods. And you are here to understand them, to accept them, to help them liberate from the shame and the guilt that their parents put on them. But you can only do this when you do it for yourself, when you give yourself this gift, when you honor yourself and you begin to see all the ways that you have lied, all the ways that you are stuck in your mind's conditioning. As you break free from your mind's conditioning, you will help your clients break free. The mind is the most powerful resource you have. When we think without fear, when we love ourselves, when we honor our own truth, we begin to separate from the clutches and the handcuffs of other people. So we lose some people, but you gain your own mind back. Most children in India don't have their own mind. Their mind has been abducted and controlled by their parents. This is how you need to evolve and help your clients evolve. This is how you need to liberate your clients from their own shame, from their own guilt, and help them to be brave in their lives. Being a psychologist is one of the most amazing things you can do, because you're going to help people liberate from their own mind. You're going to help people unleash from their fear. You're going to help people understand their childhood patterns. You're going to help people be strong and not be afraid of mommy and daddy. You're going to help people to have courage. You're going to accept people. You're going to show them that there's another way to live. Don't be afraid. But you can only do that when you understand your own mental health. So the biggest gift you can give others and your children and your friends and your clients is that you live an authentic life. You live a free life. Because when you do, when you shine, You give others the permission to be big, to shine, to be brave. After I got my divorce, lots of people got a divorce because I gave them courage. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to improve your life. It's okay. You can do this, then you can try this. This is your life. Enjoy it. Play with it. But you see, in India, you know how it is in India. You're not allowed to have too much fun. You're not allowed to be on an adventure because what will people say? So you as a psychologist are here to change the way we look at mental health in India. It depends on people like you, young people like you. That's why I'm doing this. It's 11:30 at night on Saturday. I had to come back early for a dinner. Why? Because I want you to be inspired, and I want you to be brave, and I want you to speak up and rebel against traditions in India that are so old. I had to run away from India, sorry, because I was like choked, because I couldn't speak my truth. But you, 25 years later, I left 25 years ago. So now you do a better job and change the climate in India and speak up and tell your parents and tell your aunties and uncles that things are changing and mental health is extremely important. And we need to treat it as importantly as physical health. And don't be afraid to break patterns in your own life. In every family, there is one pattern disruptor. I was the disruptor in my family. You need to be the pattern disruptor in your family and change your children's lives forever and change your clients' lives. So be brave. I'm so proud of you all for doing psychology. I know it's not easy in India, but you are the people that will create the change because India needs you to create the change. So thank you for having me. Lots of love. I will hope to see many of you doing amazing work in India. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, ma'am.